What's up, guys? Welcome to B Sports Picks. We're on a 4-0 massive run, and yesterday it came to an end. The Houston Rockets and the 76ers, they ended up getting a lot of points. Three of the players went off on the 76ers, and then Kevin Durant went off. So it was just one of those days. Also, they ended up tying it at the end. So they went way over, but that's only because they went in the overtime. So we had a 5-3 day in the VIP. So it was a slight green day. It was nothing crazy. One very strong play for you guys in the NBA. It's going to be a spread on the same game with an under. So we're going to take Houston again on the under, but I'm going to tell you exactly how we're playing it. We only hit about 34 comments, so I'm not going to be giving out that one free week because I said if we get to 50 comments, I'm going to push it out one more time. So I'm going to give you guys one more chance. If we get to 50 comments, I'll give away one free week pass, which is $50 value. Let's get right into the play. So overall, like I mentioned, we had a 5-3 day. This was one of them. This is called a correlation play. I'm not going to go into these too many details here. I already explained it inside the VIP. But the only reason this was minus 2,200 is because the game was already live. But you can see that hit very easily. All of these hit pretty easy. And then we had another points on assists over here, another points, rebounds, on assists. And then we had the over the Mavericks and the Warriors as well. So that's 3 wins right there. And then we had the Mavericks and the Warriors over 228. That hit also. And then the last one, which was made it, like I said, 5-3. So this is again a correlation play. These are not just random stuff. Like I said, I explained it in the VIP. I'll probably explain it in a different video, but it pretty much does a correlation between different bets and it puts them together. And if it matches, then I do stuff like this. So that's been hitting very well for us for about a week now. Let me quickly explain what happened yesterday. Like I mentioned, they went into overtime. You can see right there, they went into overtime. So they went way over the line. But even before they went into overtime, it was over by about 2 to 3 points. So it was nothing dramatic. It was just a simple loss. And the reason being, like I said, is 3 different players went about 30 points. This guy hit 36 points. He went off. In injury, he was not supposed to score this much. He ended up scoring 32. And then Oubre hit 26. And then, like I said, Kevin Durant hit 36 also. So it was just one of those days that it didn't match up. Now, before we continue, guys, I'm going to give you guys a very strong parlay in the NBA. Please, if you haven't done so, go to the link in the description where it says free picks. Also, check us out on the VIP. So here we go. The first thing I like to look at is the back-to-back. So you can see Houston played yesterday. Obviously, we already talked about that. They played against Philly. So there's huge for Detroit because Detroit is actually a very massive team and they have a 1-day rest advantage. Same thing with Denver versus Milwaukee. Milwaukee has a 1-day rest advantage. Toronto versus Portland. Toronto has a 1-day rest advantage. The next thing I like to do is look at the sharp edge tool. If you look around here, this is just the projections of all the scores this is what it's supposed to be. Obviously, it's not going to hit that, but these are very good indications of what the sharps are looking at. If you want 2 days for free, check out the link in the description. Now, there's also something called the line move tool inside the sharp edge, and you can see all these lines. It tells you where they started, where it's currently at, and stuff like that. I'm not going to get into too many of these details. I've already talked about this several times on different videos, but what stands out to me is this one here. It says that the Rockets are supposed to be 218 and is currently now at 216, so it went down. 79% of the bets, 74% of the money is coming in on the over. So that's a reverse line move. Also, we started looking deeper into this. The Detroit Pistons have a very strong defense. Like I mentioned, I mentioned the Rockets have top 10 defense yesterday. The Pistons have top 3 defense. So you picture this. Pistons, top 3 defense. Houston Rockets, top 10 defense. So both of them are in the top 10 defense. We start looking a little deeper into the injuries. You see Cunningham is questionable. If he ends up playing, he's going to probably kill this under a little bit, but not much. It does say questionable, so he may or may not play. All these other guys have been injured for a while, so I don't think it affects the numbers too much as far as the over-unders go. Now let's start digging a little deeper into this play. It's going to be the 2-leg parlay in the same game. So you can see the Rockets are supposed to lose this game 110 to 112. If you do the math, that's a 222. Let's just keep that in mind because it's important. But then we go into over here, the Detroit opened at a -3. It's currently at a -3.5. And the money and the bets are split. So if the money is split, why is this line shifting very slightly towards Detroit? So that's not a big deal because Houston is a massive team also. But now let's start looking into the over-unders. So the line opened at a 218. It's currently at a 216. And now let's look at the ATS trends. Pistons cover the spread 60% of the time. Rockets only cover the spread 20% of the time. You can see they lose 80% of the time against the spread. So now we start looking deeper into this. Pistons are 84% in their last 19 games at home. So now think about this. Like I said, Houston is traveling. Houston is tired. Houston went into overtime. Now they're facing this team that's hitting at an 85% hit rate at home. Not only that, but on the under, the Houston, because they have such good defense, the Houston Rockets go on the under 8 games out of the last 10 games, 75% hit rate. A little bit deeper into this is the OPPG, which is opponent points per game. If you do this number here, it's actually at a 219 overall. This is just the points allowed by the defense for each one of these teams. So again, it's two. Now we start putting these numbers together just so you can have an idea, and then I'm going to give you the exact play. So 113 points per game against the opponent. 106, that's 219. That's the reason why this opening line was right around 218. However, if we look at the projections, it's right around 222. So the projections are actually 3 points higher than what the opening line was, and then now the line is even dropping below that. So before I give you guys the play, please make sure you subscribe. Check out the links in the description. And one more chance, if we hit to 50 comments, I'm going to give away one free week pass. So this is what I'm going with. I'm going with the Pistons at a plus 6.5. They're actually favored to win by 3, so I bought it back around 10 points. And then the line is all the way down to like 2 right now. So I went from 218 all the way to 215. And like I said, the projections are 222. There's Spence here in this game. I'm going to buy it all the way up to 227. So overall, this is the play I'm going with. All right, guys, thank you so much. Let's have an amazing day. It break our streak, but all this is not about having hot streaks. It's nice to do that, but it's not about just having nice streaks. It's about consistency and making money. Let's have a great day.